Здравствуйте, and I need to get some more of this. Oh, it's Russia! Здравствуйте and hello everyone, I am GameJacker, and today we are going to talk about why people use the game hacks in the video game. Why? So what I've decided to do, by the way, YouTube, this is for educational purposes. We are talking about game cheating in video games, nothing dangerous whatsoever, alright? So what we've decided to do in order to find out why people use cheats in their favorite video games is we've done some polls. And of course, this is not the most reliable kind of data that you can get out there, but it's the best data that we have, since we cannot actually see into the minds and the hearts of people just yet. Just wait for Elon Musk to come up with some kind of chip that you can put into your brain, and then maybe we can do that one day, but hopefully not. So this is the best data we have. We have also published an article on this subject on hackerbot.net. By the way, guys, please help this video actually be seen by people, because of course YouTube does not like it when we talk about controversial subjects such as talking about cheating in the video game. So please give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so you get all our latest content. You can find the article at hackerbot.net. Just Google hackerbot or game hacks and you will find hackerbot.net. Go to our wiki and you'll find the article there or in the link below in the description. With all that being said, let's dive into the data, shall we? Anyway, so these are the polls. And the first question we asked is, actually, why do you hack games? We only got 5 different choices that we could offer people. So we gave them to save money, to save time, to be better than others. I suck without cheats, which, well, that's actually the case for me, and to troll. So 30% said they did it to save money. 49 said they did it to save time, so half the people did it to save time. Then a minority chose to be better than others because they suck or to troll. Now, what's important to note here, okay, is that our audience here on the YouTube channel is mostly mobile gamers, okay? And mobile games, of course, are very well known for wasting your time and trying to use your time to force you to spend money. All your Clashes of Clans and your city builders, all your hero collectors, they will tend to do that. So in order to incentivize you to spend money, they force you to invest a whole lot of time in order to get free currency, and probably won't even be able to compete with the people that actually spend money on the game. So that has to be taken with a grain of salt. But for mobile games in particular, clearly about 80% of people are actually using cheats or looking for cheats because they want to save money and time. And it can of course be argued that they have good reason to want to save money and time, because who wants to spend $1,000 a week on a mobile game just to be competitive? Anyways, let's leave that discussion to the side and move on to the next one. So here we refined our questions a bit, and again first one we got 237 votes, pretty significant. Second one, 284. Thanks you guys for all the votes, all of the poll data we have collected, because as we all know, data is gold in this time and age. So again, just like the other poll, 80% said money and time, 6% to win, 7 because I can, because of course, yeah, I mean you can, so of course. 3% said to troll and 6% said they had other reasons. So that is just cheating in general though, right? Now let's talk about some more controversial kinds of cheating, such as aimbots, because lately you can't really argue that you're using an aimbot because you simply want to save money and time. No, because most of these shooters and online games, online first-person shooters that would be applicable to the use of aimbots generally don't waste your time too much. So lately it's possible to pretty much farm to max rank and unlock all the stuff you want in about 3 days with most online multiplayer shooters. So what kind of excuse do people have for using aimbots? Oh, and that is where the data gets a little bit more controversial, all right? Because of course, aimbots, in my opinion, personally, are the least morally justifiable cheat that we are using, because really, it's just slightly antisocial to do, unless you really suck at games or you are handicapped or something, in which case I would say, okay, I guess that's a crutch. You were born with bad reflexes, you have some handicap that you need to make up for. Alright, but so 49% said they did it to grief or troll, which is very saddening actually. Because when I started, well, I'm not using aimbots anymore. I'm basically not using any game cheats aside from single player games these days, and bots for some mobile games because they do waste your time. When I started, it was in Battlefield 2, and you actually have to grind for thousands and thousands of hours to unlock some of the guns in the game. That was very frustrating. Literally, there were a long time in the existence of Battlefield 2, nobody even had all the guns unlocked. That's how much time it took to grind them. So that is why I started using aimbots in particular, to shorten the grind. But these days, most shooters have realized that doing something like that is just, well, it just blocks a lot of players from seeing all the content in your game. And what they do these days is they have some kind of gold skin or something that people will have to grind for thousands of hours instead. Or they have some kind of prestige rank or whatever. So it's very saddening to see, but not extremely surprising that people are using aimbots to grief or troll. However, those are also people that will probably get banned pretty quickly when using an aimbot. Then 21% said to win. Of course, that will be more applicable to more competitive shooters such as CSGO, for example, to feel like the superheroes, so kind of like a power fantasy kind of deal. 13% to be competitive. Again, competitive games, they do still exist. There are competitive shooters. And then other reasons, 12%. So what can we gather from this data? Now, what you can't gather from this data, I think, is more important in this case. So you can't gather information about all game cheaters in general. Let's just go ahead, hop over to the article real quick, wiki, and then go to our why do people hack video games. So what you can't gather really is that all cheaters in all games are behaving like this, because this is just a general overview of cheaters in general, okay? So a game such as a MOBA, for example, which is extremely competitive, people will be more likely to use cheats in order to simply win and climb the elo ladder. Not necessarily to troll, not necessarily to save time either, although that might play a role. But you need to weigh these options differently depending on how the game is structured. Is the game all about grinding? Is the game all about competitive play? Is the game all about competitive play and shooting, right? Which makes aimbots extremely, and wall hacks extremely attractive. Is the game extremely toxic in general, which makes trolling and griefing more of a thing? Is it just more for fun, something like Roblox or similar games? So this doesn't tell us everything about why people are cheating in every single game, but what we can gather from this is that in general, cheaters have arguably morally justifiable reasons that they can give for cheating. So they're not all 100% evil. let's gather that from it. But then there are kinds of cheating that are less justifiable using moral arguments, right? Although with aimbots, you could make the argument that if you're just using it, if your team gets dominated, you could still use it, and that would be morally justifiable. But generally, in shooter games, there is really less of an excuse to use this kind of software, but people will do it. It's possible to do so. People will do it inevitably. That's the way it goes. What I find, my personal take on all this is, so in mobile games, which are the games that I play most these days, aside from single-player games, I do definitely use cheats to save money and time, because these games do force you to invest thousands of dollars if you really want to be competitive, and that's just the reality of the matter. The only alternative you have is cheating, using bots, for example, to farm the game. If you're interested in into learning how to create your own bots for mobile games, just go to HackerBot, create bot. Enter that into your local Googles and you'll find our tutorial on how to create your own game bots using emulators and macro recorders, which is the primary method for saving money and time in mobile games these days. Okay, so, and then of course in shooters, the last time I've used aimbots was a few years ago, and what I really noticed is that, yeah, I mean, it's fun to use an aimbot for about an hour or two, but at some point you realize that all the challenge and the skill is gone from the game, and generally what an aimbot will do is, yeah, it'll be slightly fun, you'll unlock all the cool stuff really quickly, but there's no longevity to it, because all the skill, all the sense of achievement is gone. So you're not going to play the game for very long. So if you weren't using an aimbot, you might get a few thousand hours even out of a game, like I did when I was like 16, out of Battlefield 2. But if you're using an aimbot, it gets boring really quickly. So if you want to save time, I guess from that perspective, you don't want to waste your life grinding gold skins in some random shooter, I guess the argument can be made that aimbots are still going to save you a lot of time and leave you more time to actually live your life. Anyways, I just wanted to present the data basically in this video. This is the data we have collected. There's a bunch of votes in these polls. Now, if you check out the polls on our YouTube channel, in the future, I'm not sure that they're going to be representative anymore. Even now, I'm not sure this is representative anymore, because there are votes included in this that have been cast after our article was released. So maybe some opinionated people went into the channel in order to influence these votes. So if you want the original tally, head over to hackerbot.net and go to our wiki, where you will find the original data that we used to actually write the article. That was before the article was released. People became aware of the polls and might have influenced them or manipulated them in some way. What you can see here is that griefing and trolling was a lot less prevalent, which is exactly what I would expect. If people that hate cheaters get a hold of a poll, they'll just vote, oh, I just do it to grief and troll. There is a good possibility that the percentage of people using it to grief and troll is actually a lot lower than what is indicated on the poll right now. Again, we're gonna run more of these polls in the future, and hoping to get a more complete picture. Of course, these are all personal opinions from cheaters. The data was, of course, collected anonymously. Therefore, I don't really see why people would lie unless they wanted to, portray cheating in a negative light, and they got a hold of the poll after the article was released. So I think the data is pretty good, and again, until we can actually read people's minds, we're not going to get any better data than this. Anyways, guys, if you've liked this content, you want to have more content on game cheating and how to find legitimate cheats, also check out hackerbot.net. Of course, your #1 place for finding legitimate cheats on the interwebs. Skip all the scams and the fake generators. Just Google game hacks and go to hackerbot.net. go to download cheats, follow the guide there in order to download legitimate cheats from legitimate and proven providers with a good track record of providing clean downloads and files, and find out if cheats exist for the game that you're looking to hack. I'm sorry for being a bit nasally today, but it's COVID season and we all have to get some. Anyways, guys, I do wish you all the best. I hope this clears up some of the misunderstandings and misconceptions about why people use cheating software. In my opinion, most people do it for justifiable reasons, at least these days, of one sort or another, and they're not automatically bad people for using the cheaterinos. Although they may work for the evil Russianinos, but you never know. Maybe it's all the Russians. The Russians come into your game and they hack the game. Anyways, guys, здравствуйте, and I need to get some more of this. Oh, it's Russia!